poprzednim odcinku.
Tego się nie spodziewaliśmy, co? Aż ci się... Aż Sara posiwiała, nie? Moi drodzy, kontynuujemy naszą przygodę w Starfield Shattered Space. W drugim odcinku z 3, bowiem w 3 zamkniemy całą serię we współpracy z ekipą Bethesda Polska, więc zapraszam. A no i moi drodzy, bez obaw, dziś o 16:19 wlatują standardowo horrorki.
Our situation is dire. We need all the help we can get, including yours. I remain hopeful that the Serpent has guided your thoughts, as he guides us all. Have you reconsidered? Will you join House Faroon, become one of the promised, and deliver us from this crisis? Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Faroon. I have been asked to represent the Council in this moment. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed. I would ask that until you have become promised, you avoid the citizens of Dasra. They are not used to outsiders. Open the gate! I must tell you what I revealed for now, but surely you saw the scaled citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
Ja się czuję, że mnie coś grozi, bo w tym mieście nikt nie patrzy na mnie raczej przychylnie, nie?
Counselor, what is the meaning of this?
Okej.
Is there a problem, Makula?
The city is in shambles, the speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
Have faith. I believe this outsider was guided here by the great Serpent himself. And soon, Serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised that has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this.
Dobra, to lecimy. Dołączyć do sekty. Moi drodzy, bardzo chciałem, byśmy dokończyli Starfielda, więc dokończymy serię. No i cóż, dokończymy dodatek, jednocześnie bardzo niedługi, więc powinniśmy się uwinąć w tym i w kolejnym.
Herald Inaza, I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands.
So, the great Serpent sends you to me. No husk that walk the Serpent's path. To enter this sacred cave, there is no turning back. You will be forever changed. This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the promised? Then enter, and I shall guide you along the Serpent's path. But this is a journey you must undertake alone. Your escort cannot follow.
I'm not exactly a fan of splitting up, but I'm also not eager to offend. You'll just have to tell me all about it afterwards.
I will await you at the end of the Serpent's path.
Droga węża, powiadasz. No dobra, dołączyłem do sekty, to już niech będzie, idźmy drogą węża. Kurde bele, ze wszystkich rzeczy, które mogliśmy zrobić, że do sekty dołączać? Masakra.
The path lies before you, but it is up to you to walk it.
Okej. Im głębiej w las, tym więcej skał.
Before House Varun, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. One particular colony ship housed several hundred of these souls. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. They were each alone and isolated, individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice.
Okej. Opcjonalnie mogę zdmuchnąć świecę.
But Jinan encountered the great serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. And thus, House Varun was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens, to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back.
Dobra. Odrzuć brzemię.
The people's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the great serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House Varun to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the great serpent, and he...
Dobra.
The people of House Varun settled this world, at first in these very caves. Jinan Varun himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent. It was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of their place in the universe. And it was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of the shrouding. The great serpent's return. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the great serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve.
Złóż krozę w ofierze? Nie chcę. Przejdźmy tę ścieżkę tak, żeby nie iść za sekty wskazówkami. To może być całkiem ciekawe rozwiązanie, nie? Mam nadzieję. Mam nadzieję, że mnie po prostu nie zgładzą, nie?
Let us begin the final ritual.
Rozpocznijmy.
While none since Jinan Varun have stood before the great serpent,
Okej, mam zabrać wszystko, czy...
we can all feel his presence. To solidify this bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Varun's connection to the great serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offerings to the great serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise.
Okej, czyli mam zabrać wszystkie wizerunki ze sobą, jeżeli dobrze myślę. Poświęcenie, siła, wytrwałość. A w sumie, wiecie co? Weźmy wszystkie. Weźmy wszystkie i zacznijmy rozkładać. Siła, niech będzie. I teraz... Może wytrwałość? Sam nie wiem. Albo posłuszeństwo. Albo poświęcenie. Niech będzie poświęcenie. I co? Dusza wybrana, złamana. Okej. Lecimy. I niniejszym staje się jednym z warun, tak?
And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the great serpent working within you? Do you feel born anew?
Chcę po prostu pomóc, więc zrobię to, co trzeba.
Even if you claim not to believe, you made an effort, and that is appreciated. Give it time. The great serpent may yet call to you more directly, and your assistance will be welcome no matter what. Your devotion and strength will bring glory to the great serpent and to House Varun. I grant you the title of Harbinger. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the grand ship morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, the High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the great serpent. All must serve.
No dobra, wszyscy muszą służyć. Porozmawiać z Maliborem, Dulkechem. No dobra. Innymi słowy, musimy wyjść stąd i frunąć do Dazry, do miasta. Śluza. Okej. Wyjdźmy więc i zobaczymy, czego się dowiemy. Bo pewnie będzie ogrom Gwiezdna burza Varun. Będzie pewnie ogrom zadań. Dobra. Dawaj, gro. Droga węża? Kokpit, okej. Niech będzie. Czego się dowiemy ciekawego? Już tu czeka.
Did you need something? Welcome, Harbinger. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Nasco Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkef. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vital. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Nasco Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope. I understand. Until you were one of us, we could not trust you.
By all means, Malibor. I can't wait to see how you spend this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see a Nasco. It felt different. We have already wasted so much time.
You're correct. I was not there. Because you elected to travel to the spaceport on your own. And then decided this on your own.
Do not waste time with more bickering. Nasco, and by extension House Varun, suffers with every passing moment.
Of course, Lovek. My apologies. Please, Malibor, do go on.
Nasco Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Nasco wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the scaled citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the scaled citadel and swept across Dazra. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the vortex. The citadel itself remains in such a state. Right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We're beginning to lose hope before you arrived. Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. The plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
No dobra, to lecimy do Ekrisa. Czołem. Czekasz tam na mnie, już widzę. Nie czekasz z Romerem, nie czekasz z Rosołem, nie mniej czołem.
We will all be lucky to see the end of the year. Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Harbinger? Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the scaled citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way. Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and everyone realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating.
Nie ma sensu narzekać na przeszłość.
Indeed. All must serve. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the speaker since the disaster. Oh, I think they will listen. House Vetol owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Well, then you are in luck. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. This is hardly the time to be turning down additional options. I am simply providing you with the information. If you choose to ignore it, so be it. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice if you have the materials. And depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage.
Wykorzystam czy nie? Musimy działać w różnych chyba sekcjach do różnych domów. Okej, w takim razie poprośmy tutaj najpierw ciebie.
So, Ekris has sent our newest harbinger to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jimal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
Taking hostages and negotiating? Doesn't sound like the zealots we're used to.
Jest dobrze doinformowana, nie?
Perhaps the zealots you know. But they were once a part of Varun society. Our relationship is far more complex. The zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council, or even the reinstatement of their house. House Malene. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands.
Fanatycy nie będą mieli karty przetargowej.
Aha. My thoughts exactly. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. And that is where the issue lies. I don't know where the zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. I suppose this looks very black and white to you. If only that were the case. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now, on my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit, as long as no physical harm comes to them.
I certainly hope it wouldn't come to that.
See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
Dobra. Mirek. Mirek! Panie, gdzie jesteś? Gdzie jest Majster Mirek? Bum. Jesteś. Czółko.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? Oh, so you're the heretic turned harbinger who thinks they're one of us now. So, tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? I'm sorry, did you say zealots? Why would I know anything about such extremists? Absolutely ridiculous.
Mirosław coś nie chce ze mną współpracować. A bądźmy kurde bezpośredni, co powiedzmy co się kręci.
So much for confidentiality. I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Razma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. Oh, I don't think so. I think I've considered them enough. I suppose you have a point. Well, it is the biggest variable. Isn't that what the negotiations are for? Serpent, save me. Stop talking. Now leave me alone before I call security and have you escorted out. Or worse.
No dobra. Mistrzem perswazji to ja tutaj nie byłem, ale to nic, bo... No proszę, czyj tu komputerek mam? Zaraz zobaczymy, co się kryje przed mamusią, nie? O rany, znajdę na niego wszystkie brudy, przysięgam. Wszystkie, co do joty, nie? Ja nie mogę. Dawaj. Dziennik misji. Dosłownie pierwszy zapis, nie? I wszystko tu jest.
Oh, sorry. You'll have to hack that on your own.
Ależ Sara, nie ma problemu. Ja jestem majster hakowania, więc działamy w takim razie. Do szefowej.
You must have gotten the location. Very resourceful. And luckily, a location I'm familiar with. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. The sooner the better.
Don't worry. If anyone can bring those hostages back safely, it's us.
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. Good. Serpent willing, your timing will line up. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Harbinger, a word before you go. Tell me, Harbinger, what do you know about the Zealots? An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's crusade, days we'd like to forget. Has my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots? I'm surprised she even mentioned that much. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
I don't see how anyone could sympathize with such fanatics, let alone work with them.
Exactly. House Kadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots. But the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Kadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. The Council knows nothing of her work with the Zealots, and I aim to keep it that way. All elders have their own ambitions. I'm certain that's all they see. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Kadik's reputation and power at risk.
Ale zamierzam znaleźć Sahimę, aby Razma odzyskała kontrolę.
And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Kadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. How astute. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Kadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Razma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
And I thought Zealots were bad. Now I'm not sure what disgusts me more.
I'm doing what I must to preserve this house. All you need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. I see I misjudged you. How unfortunate for us all. Well, should you change your mind, the offer still stands. And Harbinger, this conversation stays between us.
No właśnie niekoniecznie, bo pójdę naskarżyć.
Don't let Jamal distract you too long. Great Serpent keep you. Merrick will be relieved to know. So that's what Jamal wanted to speak with you about. If you're insinuating that I care more for power than my own family, you are sadly mistaken. The safety of this house and its people are of utmost priority to me. To be fair, I won't deny that, yes, I would like to see House Kadik become the new Varun. But show me an elder who thinks differently. I certainly hope so. All must serve.
No dobra, to idziemy za miasto odbić zakładników. Daleko to? Dotarliśmy. I teraz pytanie. Czy ja się mogę do nich dostać od tak, czy muszę? Chciałbym, kurde, zrobić to pozostawszy w ukryciu, przynajmniej tu na zewnątrz. Dobra. Jakoś damy radę. Stacja cienia Epsilon. Dołączyłem do sekty i robię dla niej zadania. Masakra. Ojku, nie ma innej opcji, jakby co trzeba. Znajdź Sahimę. Teraz czy ja tam robić po cichu, czy mam wejść i napierdzielać jak rakieta? Nie ukrywam. O! O kurde.
Another loser, another notch on my gun.
Dobra. To Sara taka łagodna nacina na kolbie ilość tych? Ilość zwłok? Masakra. Tego się nie spodziewałem. O kurde bele. Bardzo dużo działek. Musimy sobie jakoś z nimi radzić. Ja pierdzielę. Przyznam szczerze, takiego chaosu to ja się tym nie spodziewałem. No dawaj, dawaj, dawaj. Rozwalmy tego pieseła metalowego, stalowego. zaraz potem. Fanatyka. O kurde. Mam cię, czemu on wybuchł? Okej. Was uwalniam.
Who are you? Serpent's Grace, I knew it! I knew she wouldn't just leave us here to rot. It's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to force me to continue my research here. They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure.
You poor thing. I always associate zealots with direct violence. Oh, these manipulative tactics are new for me.
So my theory is correct. Or I should say, the High Council now believes my theory, the better theory, is correct. I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people twice my age to shame when it came to assessments. Of course, this is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. Negotiations? Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten. I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Kadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove me from the equation. I get it. But at least now everyone knows I was right. Yes, step 1 is freeing the others. The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving into their systems here. I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate Anasco's experiment, and I didn't even bother with risk assessment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Granted, I could probably make it work if I had to. I've been in and out of every system they have here. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You'll just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are different. Oh, I'm not going anywhere yet. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base or their ships. Good. I'll see you outside.
No dobra. W fonatycznym przekroczeniu uwolnić zakładników. Jest jeszcze kilku, więc działamy. Im dalej w dół, tym większe problemy. Rzeczywiście zbawiony, miał rację, są inni. Mają bardzo dużo HP, holy shit. Czego on ma tak dużo HP? Jeszcze tylko 2 poziomy różnicy, no bez jaj. Nie chcę nic mówić, ale on nawet nie jest na moim poziomie. Jest kilka poziomów mniej. A jest taki twardy, że ja pierdzielę. Przecież to jakaś katastrofa. My tu dostaniemy takie manto. Wina z wodorostów, może na później zostawmy. Są zakładnicy.
Who are you? The Great Serpent is merciful. And Tahima? Did you find her yet? I wish it were that easy. The Zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the Zealots and rescue the others so we may all escape safely. We'll be ready.
Dobra, to do dzieła. Uwolnij pozostałych i oczyść jaskinię. Da się zrobić. Żądalu. Tu jesteś, okej, dobra. O, super. Mamy ich. Dobra, to skoro są uwolnieni, to możemy frunąć do wyjścia. Sru. I spotkać się z resztą na zewnątrz. Zakładnicy ocaleni. Porozmawiaj z Sahimą. Okej, w pożądalu.
You did it!
Was truly watching
It's
over
true
us.
what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives. Thank you.
Czas zabrać wszystkich w bezpieczne miejsce.
Correction, it's time for you to get back. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone here is okay to make it back safely. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking place.
No dobra. To w takim razie pospiesz się.
Don't worry. Razma came through for me. It's only fair I return the favor. I'll be there when it counts. Now go.
Good luck. If you need help, you know where we'll be.
Puszczasz mnie samego?
I'll be there.
Trochę dramat, ale dam radę. Docieramy. Przerwij negocjacje. Musimy wparować jak do siebie. Szybki zapis w razie, gdybym coś spierdzielił. I zginął, ale nie sądzę. Elektrownia w Pustkowiach. Odkryto lokację. Jedziesz.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is.
Kurde. O, ja mogę się przedstawić jako Ryujin Industries albo strażnik kolektywu. Ryujin chyba budzą respekt i ludzie się ich boją, choć tu nie sądzę, by ktokolwiek na Warun ich w ogóle znał.
House Kadik dealing with outsiders? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
Kurde. Aktywuj wirusa, co tam?
Are you sure?
You'll launch that virus, and I guarantee blood will spill.
Dam ci jeszcze jedną szansę, typie, serio.
What's there to reconsider? No, but it's the death they know is possible. Besides, you think I'd turn my back on the insults thrown here today?
You mean, do we think you'd throw away your life and the lives of everyone at Shadow Station Epsilon over your pride, Mihail? No, I, for one, don't think you will. And you can't deny our partnerships have been beneficial for us both.
Perswaduj?
We'll see about that. So, what's a few more? The entire refuge? It can't be possible.
To perswazja już jest przegrana, także nie wiem, co ja mogę w ogóle tu jeszcze osiągnąć.
We're all prepared to answer the Serpent's call. Enough talking! This ends now.
I'm glad you're on my side back there.
Słabiutcy byli.
May the Great Serpent bless you.
House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I. I owe you my life.
Sahima, You are a part of this house.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. Personally. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. I'm going back to check on the others, but maybe come find me when you're done. Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahima. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your debt. You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. One that we'll be keeping a much closer eye on. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret. A fair price to pay for silence. The others involved know better than to speak of this. As much as it disappoints me, I can't say I'm surprised. Jamal's never cared for our view with the Zealots. And she has no love for those taken. But this is what makes her an excellent mediary.
No dobra, skoro tak mówisz.
I know so. And wouldn't expect an outsider, promised or not, to understand. Now, I have much to do, and so do you. Ekris and the High Council will be expecting you.
Okej, wróć do Ekrisa. Przy napędzie Morninga. Okej, czołem Ekri. Jestem.
You do not understand. I saw a Nasco, took measure of his burdens.
Ah, were you able to find Sahima? Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the morning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost so much of our great city. This leaves houses Dulkef and Fathol.
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, a Nasco descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science will.
It is the hubris of science that failed you in this moment. We reached out to the Great Serpent. This is his reply.
You claim he has forsaken us?
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an answer, but a question. Are we worthy of his grace? Until that is proven, your works will not succeed. It is fine to question. The truth will be revealed in time. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. Anasco's presence still persists in this world, and he seeks our aid.
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Harbinger, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
Your life, your purpose, has been forever changed. Time is short, Harbinger. I have seen visions of Anasco, searching for one bold enough to enter the heart of the vortex. And now that you are here, I know your arrival was no accident, but rather providence. The Great Serpent has guided you here. From the moment you found the Oracle to the words I speak to you now. Well put. The Great Serpent's works are imperceptible, even to heralds like myself. But rest assured, all will be revealed when you journey north. At the edge of the crater, you will find a cave carved by the anomaly. There, you will make contact with a Nasco Varun. It is as the Great Serpent foretold. In my visions, I witnessed two futures. In the first, you breached the scaled citadel, but found a Nasco had sunk too far into the void.
And in time, all of Dazra was consumed along with him. Indeed, but there is another path. In the second future, I saw you make contact with Anasco, entering a cave through a formless wall. At its terminus was a gate, a path into the realm where our speaker resides. You stepped into this void, and in that moment, something changed. The false future rewritten.
Roughly speaking, it could be that entering the vortex directly would allow you to speak with him. And while my readings do not show any anomalous activity, I admit there's a lot of interference. Still, that only emphasizes the potential danger involved here. I cannot approve of such an excursion on the minute chance Anasco is present. The closer one ventures to the heart of the anomaly, the closer they are to the phantoms and horrors that lie within. Moreover, if this cave was cut open by the calamity itself, then it is an unnatural formation and highly unstable. I've said this much myself, but my sister persists. It may save us more time to inspect the cave than to continue these arguments.
You may not realize it now, dear brother, but our goals are one and the same. Then you must embark to the northern edge of the crater. You will find an entrance there, one that has no form. Step through it, find Anasco, and complete the vision. Only then will his voice be heard.
No dobra, to zbadajmy nietypową jaskinię. Kurde, nie spodziewam się, żebym tam... Chociaż może ujrzę ducha, rzeczywiście. Boję się, że to pułapka, ale... Jeżeli rzeczywiście mam mieć znowu kontakt z tym typem, może to coś otworzy, jeżeli chodzi o informacje lub świadomość tego, co się właściwie dzieje na tej planecie. Jest wejście, za mną wszędzie kurde zjawy. Tak jak mówił Ekri, wcale tu nie jest bezpiecznie, wręcz tragicznie. Przerąbane, kurde bele, no... Dobra, wiecie co, biegnijmy do jaskini. Nietypowej, zgodnie z zaleceniem. I pozwiedzajmy ją, bo jak na razie nic tu mi absolutnie nie pokazuje, jakobym miał się czuć bezpiecznie. No dobra, śpiew Anasco. Za śpiewem, prawda? No nie wierzę. O kurde bele. No nie, oni są twardzi. Niczego mają tyle HP? To tylko robaczki przecież. Ja cię kręcę. Ja mam tylko 30 nabojów w magazynku, więc... Nawet nie mam jak poszaleć. Wystrzelę magazynek, ten pół HP nawet nie spada. Kurde blade. Masakra trochę. Jest okej. No i dobra. Anasco Warun, śpiew. No dobra. Dobrze. Idźmy za śpiewem, tam gdzie go słyszę. Nie ma sensu tracić HP i amunicji na małe stworki, które są jak na razie bardzo mocne, bardzo dużo muszą przyjąć, więc skupmy się na Anasco Warunie, którego stąd chyba już widzę. Tędy do niego dotrę?
I speak into this void, and it answers with silence. Have you abandoned me, Great Serpent? Do you not hear my pleas? You understand me?
hear my voice? But I do not know you, even if you are promised. I hesitate to ask, but what manner of being are you? Do you truly serve his will? You can lie to yourself, shield your eyes from the truth, but the fact that you are here shows you are part of his plan. I have reached out so many times to hear nothing but echoes, yet you, an outsider, hear me plain, and for the first time, I hear you. Clearly your arrival here is fated. By stepping into this void, we are now linked. There is still reason to hope. The great serpent will see us through. But time is short. The bridge collapses. The gate is still open. The experiment still runs. Find me in the scaled citadel. I will wait for you there.
O kurde bele. Dobra, jesteśmy na zewnątrz. No nie ma co, trzeba frunąć. Sara się pojawiła. Jak miło. Oj, nie chciałem mapy. Chociaż w sumie. Nie mogę. Nie mogę się teleportować w sensie szybkiej podróży, więc muszę najpierw wytłuc tych, którzy są tu w miarę blisko, żeby sobie zrobić bezpieczny teren, z którego mogę wtedy szybkiej podróży użyć i wrócić do naszych dobrych nowych znajomych w mieście Dazra, bo oni pozwolą mi zrozumieć, co właściwie się stało w jaskini, w której byłem z Anasko Warunem. No dobra, tędy? Obok baru, naprawdę?
Oh, if there's one thing shared by all cultures, it's a place to vent and drink.
Tak mówisz? Czyli problemy z alkoholem się szerzą w całej galaktyce.
Do you seek counsel? You return. What news do you have of Anasko? Then my vision did not betray me.
Well, it would seem I owe you an apology, sister.
There is no need, brother. Your skepticism only strengthens us.
As you say. But, to the matter at hand, did Anasko mention anything that could aid us in his extraction? Then we must continue our work on the morning device. But it is comforting to have confirmation. And if you've spoken to him once, it's not out of the realm of possibility you could do it again.
It is much more than that. Normally when I pray for Anasko's return, I sense he is lost, fading. But when I last prayed to the Great Serpent, I felt Anasko's presence clear and distinct. Even as it receded, I felt him anchored to this world.
And you believe the Harbinger is this anchor?
Yes. There are some who suggest that when Jinan communed with the Great Serpent, a similar bond had been established. I believe the same is true for you and Anasko.
I would need time to attempt a scientific explanation for why or how this happened, but for now, let us assume my sister is correct.
This husk's comments aside, that is the essence of faith. Not all things require explanation. I do not know what lies ahead. My visions do not go beyond this point. But I do know this link would play a role. In fact, I am certain of it.
Agreed. And with this settled, we can now continue the work of aligning the noble houses. Together we will find a way to complete the morning device.
No dobra, moi drodzy, zrozumieliśmy co więcej fabuły, przed nami jeszcze jeden odcinek, by zakończyć Starfielda i dodatek Shattered Space. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało, pamiętajcie o kciuku w górę, jeżeli tak. No i oczywiście dzisiaj o 16:19 kontynuujemy horrory na kanale, więc wpadnijcie. Tymczasem ode mnie w tym odcinku to tyle. Mam nadzieję, że się wam podobało. Pamiętajcie, że moje odcinki powstają dzięki wsparciu patronów z Patronite'a. Link do niego macie na ekranie i poniżej. Moją stronkę, na której są top listy, mojego Instagrama, Facebooka i wszystkie inne fajne miejsca znajdziecie oczywiście w opisie. No i raz jeszcze pamiętajcie o kciuku w górę, bo to nic nie kosztuje, a bardzo wspiera kanał. Dzięki za uwagę, moi drodzy, i do miłego usłyszenia.